Welcome back, everyone. Now we will go on to the next session of the day entitled Malaysian Companies Taking on the World. Allow me to welcome back Gopi Ganesalingam, Vice President, Tech Ecosystems and Globalization, or TEG, from the Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC, as he introduces us to the lineup of companies from Malaysia that have taken on the world. Over to you, Gopi.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this session entitled Malaysian Companies Taking on the World. This is where we say the proof is in the pudding. With digitalization long being a forerunner in business, we have seen significant developments in both business and technology. Today, we are shifting away from the costly all-in-one solutions. The cost of doing business simply cannot support these kinds of solutions anymore. Thankfully, many local technology companies continue to pioneer innovations in this area. Thanks to lower tech costs, they can offer agility, higher risk tolerance, and information on shifting customer needs. Malaysia TechMart 2021 will connect Malaysia with the rest of the world in fintech, while creating access to foreign startups, investors, and fintech-related players globally. On the local front, we aim to help financial services transform the way businesses are conducted in the future. As the fintech community continues to experience phenomenal growth, MDEC is committed to facilitate, foster, and support cross-border dialogues to sustain better financial services in the future via partners. Let's hear from the fintech disruptors who have successfully expanded overseas with Made in Malaysia technologies. Starting, we have Softspace, a leading soft-POS solutions provider and fintech player which serves over 30 financial service institutions globally. JurisTech, the pioneer AI-powered credit management solutions expert, will share their experiences growing global. GHL Systems will share their perspective on digital disruptions in ASEAN payments landscape. Innovative will share on how they have built a world-class eKYC solution. iPay88, a leading ASEAN payment company processing over 30 million transactions a month with gross transaction value of 2.5 billion ringgit. Visa, our payments network partner, working together with MDEC to bring Malaysian fintech startups to go global and working with the digital players to enable a digital-first commerce experience. Lastly, but definitely not the least, KipplePay will share about how their regional experience has helped build KipplePay. As final note, please do join the networking lounges to further connect with the companies after their presentation. Have a good day.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nick, the CTO of Softspace. I'm very honored today to be invited in this occasion to share a little bit about our journey in Softspace, how we actually started locally and then going global. So I would like to start with a brief backstory of Softspace. So in 2012, Softspace was established and is a homegrown Malaysian company with a vision in mind to innovate and simplify payments. So we started with a very humble goal, that is to increase the acceptance of card payments by focusing on making it a lot more affordable and cost-effective. So it was then that we created our first Asia centralized cloud-based kernel that was certified by EMV. Our first implementation for this back then was in Thailand with Kasikorn Bank, and only moving the implementation back to Malaysia later on. So that time, we actually feel happy and a bit wasteful in a while, because we thought that this is a Malaysia innovations and it doesn't get to implement in Malaysia first. So back then, we actually make a little promise to ourselves, and we say that our next innovation in Softspace has to be Malaysia first, then the rest of the world. In 2018, we were blessed to be able to fulfill this little promise of ours, where our product FastTap, a solution that enables card payments with PIN entry capabilities using just mobile phone. It was launched in Malaysia. So it was later implemented globally in other countries like Japan, Australia, US, even Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, just to name a few. So it is from this journey that today I would like to personally share some of the key decisions and takeaways that we feel are important. So to begin with, I'd like to talk about what we call opportunities. So especially in Malaysia. So to even make this possible, we are very fortunate to have organizations such as MDEC that has been providing the support through various platforms and programs to help local startup and fintech to excel. So not only that this platform and program will be able to provide the necessary resources, mentorships, and what's not to the local startup and fintech in Malaysia, it is also a very important platform for any companies to attest themselves and give the chance for themselves to improve before moving into a global or world stage. On top of that, we have also been given a chance to work with our local regulatory here, Payment Network Malaysia, in short, PayNet. So PayNet has been known as a regulatory body in Malaysia that has been relentlessly governing the securities and compliance of all payment instruments in the country. But they are also very open and come with a very innovative mindset. So this allows us to introduce FastTap with PIN capabilities for MyDebit, which is our local scheme card or debit cards in Malaysia. So after a year-long journey with PayNet, we assess various aspects of the solutions. There is security, its usability, and how the market will be able to, how we will be able to deploy it to the markets. And we finally launched our first pilots in 2018. Now, apart all this opportunity in the countries, I would also like to share a bit more about the strategies and key decisions that we have made while designing our solution and also the go-to-market plan. It focuses on 3 key areas that I would like to term it as framework, peoples, and the regulators. So when we talk about framework, we follow a concept called niche first, then generalizations. So when we designed our solution, we started with our local scheme in Malaysia. So we understand that there will be countries that require local scheme or local payments to be supported. Hence, the ability to assess the necessary process, the design principle, or going through the certification process in country and etc. to keep the solution flexible and agile has been a great help for us to navigate our implementation globally. For example, when we deploy our solution to Vietnam, we know that Vietnam local scheme, NAPAS in this case, is mandatory, and that also requires PIN support. So having done all this thing in Malaysia, knowing the process, knowing the roadblocks, knowing the challenges that it involved, we actually managed to deploy this very smoothly without any major hiccups in Vietnam. So next, we talk about the peoples. In many countries and in many circumstances, there has been this habitual behavior when it comes to payments that exists in a country long enough. So take Japan, for example. For the longest time, it is a country that cash and their e-money cards, Suica, Pasmo, Nanako, and so on, has been very, very prominent in Japan. So they have been, the Japanese, each and every Japanese has been using this frictionless aspect of the cash and e-money to make payment for many, many years. So we come to quickly realize that our solution FastTap in this case actually has a small gaps where most of the mobile devices, if not all, have their NFC point at the back. So this is the front of the device and the NFC point is actually at the back. So while the Japanese has been tapping their cards easily on the front of the device most of the time, so this may be a very trivial things, but it requires a cognizant effort for people to change. So when we look into this, we ask ourselves what we can do. So we took extra consideration and worked with one of the enterprise tablet device manufacturer to create a device where the NFC tap points has been brought to the front of the device. That's in the center of the screen. So with this, we are able to mimic how Japanese uses e-money cards to tap. And as a result, we have successfully deployed our solution in Japan alongside this device with one of the largest transportation organizations in Japan. So the last aspect that I feel often overlooked are the local regulator. So it is crucial to understand the local regulator additional requirements. So for example, in Australia, we understand our solution would need to be assessed by the local regulator, in this case, Australia Payment Networks, AusPayNet. Being a country that has high contactless penetration rates, AusPayNet has developed a very, very comprehensive set of requirements on both usabilities and risk when it comes to contactless payments. So to further improve our solution and incorporate all these necessary globalizations capabilities to the solutions, a good understanding and earlier engagement with the local regulator is very, very crucial. So lastly, above all, I think it is also equally important to look into resource scaling to support the business expansion globally. So I truly believe that two of the more important things to look into is the key hiring. So when we talk about key hiring here, it's not really just hire any important position, but rather to hire positions or individuals that will be able to help the companies to bridge the localization gaps. And the second one would be to have an open mindset going into a new countries to work with partners, because these partners opportunities in other countries would be very important, that they have been in the country for many years. They know the country very well, all the challenges they have gone through that, and they know how to navigate through the country itself. So I hope all these sharings and there will be takeaways for everyone to navigate through the global markets. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Waihan. I am the CEO and co-founder of JurisTech, and I'm here to actually share with you the Voyage of us going global. So maybe I can just share screen first. Let me share my screen. Okay, so yeah, basically what I really want to share is actually the challenges of going global, because I realize that every one of us entrepreneurs always have this ambition and saying that, hey, you know, why are we just staying in Malaysia? Why can't we go beyond the seas? That's the reason why, you know, we titled this a voyage. And I won't say that we are very successful in going global, but we actually have succeeded in conquering several continents, and we want to explain how we did it. Okay, so a bit about JurisTech. JurisTech is a software company, and what we are doing is more like B2B fintech for banks, financial companies, credit leasing companies, you know, anyone that actually wants to provide lending. And now we see a lot of companies that, even though they are not banks, financial institutions, they are also going to lending. So we provide the entire solution stack from digital customer onboarding to originating the loans, to loan documentation, even until debt collection and litigation. So how did we really start? So we found a picture of our company many, many years ago, and we actually started on the second floor of this place in Bukit Mayang, Mas. So, and we really had very humble beginnings, but we had very, very big visions in terms of what we wanted to do. And this is a picture of me and my co-founders at that time, when we were actually moving into one of our offices. So, okay, what vision that we had? We actually wanted to create amazing software to build and enrich lives. And until now, this has been our core purpose. And what has the journey been like for us? We started in 1997, which is actually at the heart of the Asian financial crisis. So at the early 1997 to year 2000, we did something that I would say quite revolutionary and is considered blue ocean. We actually created a legal recovery ecosystem in Malaysia. We started connecting banks to lawyers, and this was something that no one was doing. So, and since then, we actually had an ambition, and our ambition and vision at that time was to be the best credit management software in the world. Okay, so that's the reason why we ended up building an end-to-end credit management system, not just looking into legal recovery. Credit management means anything that has to do with lending, to providing credit, etc. Then in 2014, something amazing happened to us. We actually joined an organization called Endeavour. So Endeavour is actually a social enterprise in which they actually help entrepreneurs to grow, and they find entrepreneurs that are at the pivotal point and say, you know, how can I actually bring you further than this? So we actually got selected from Malaysia. We passed the local selection panel, and we went to the international selection panel, which was actually in New York. And this was a picture of us when we were in New York. These are my co-founders now. And we passed the international selection panel. We became Endeavor entrepreneurs, and they gave us an advisory board. And you can see Azran Osman Rani is there. There's another guy there called Chris Zook and Dave Thomas. So they are actually our first advisory board. And Chris Zook himself is from Bain & Co, but he's like the head of global strategic partnership and things like that. So what happened was that when in our first advisory board meeting, they actually asked us what we want to do, and we said we want to go global, right? But guess what their advice was? Their advice was, you still have so much to do in Malaysia. Why do you want to go overseas first? Why don't you consider local domination? And that was actually quite good, because we realized that we needed to double down and really focus on our energy on actually growing the Malaysian market. And there's so much more that we could do, because at that time we were very big into development financial institutions, but we had very few local banks, you know, we weren't in any credit leasing companies. There was so much things that we haven't done yet. So in 2017, following the focus of what Endeavor advisors told us, we realized that we were already dominating the financial industry market. We got 6 out of 8 of the local banks. We have 4 out of 6 financial institutions, and we had a lot of cooperatives. We have like the biggest, some of the biggest leasing companies actually using our software. So we were asking ourselves, okay, then what's next? And that was end of 2017. So we moved into our office in Bangsa South, and we actually bought 3.5, that time we only bought 1 floor, now we have 3.5 floors already. And that time maybe from 2014 when we joined Endeavor, maybe around 50-60 man company. Here we are maybe around 120 man company. And you can see that these are the guys that were with us at that time when end of 2017, and we decided to hold a leadership meeting. Okay, so what's this leadership meeting for? It's actually to plan the vision for the next 10 years. Okay, so a lot of times you're saying that, hey, you know, we can only think 2 years ahead. Why think 10 years ahead? I think it is important to think 10 years ahead, because then you have your big, hairy, audacious goal, and you have something you can anchor yourself on. So when we did the vision settings, basically we broke ourselves into 5 groups among the leaders. We went into a hotel and we decided to hold ourselves in the conference room, and we had each group actually draw a picture. What would JurisTech be like in 10 years time? And it was unanimous. When it came back, all the pictures were saying the same thing. So this is the first picture, you know, they say JurisTech all over the world, you know, we are conquering the world, you know. Then the second one, again, another group says that, yeah, we'll be in multiple continents. Then the third one even mentioned, you know, which country. And guess what? Now we're in Australia, Uganda, some of these countries that we mentioned, you know, not US, but basically, yeah. And then we were also talking about the growth in terms of the staff count. And here again, you know, we are conquering the world again. And the final one is from my group, where we said that, you know, not only are we going to go global, but, you know, we actually have our Juris University, our Juris campus, and we want to impact lives. So from there, that's what happened. We actually had our global expansion vision, and we got our first international client in 2017. And guess which country it is? Singapore. Okay, Singapore is still considered international for us, okay, because it's outside Malaysia. Okay. So, so we did our vision casting, which means that we onboard all the leaders, we align the mindset, everybody says, yes, go global, you know, and then we had this global vision during our town halls, which we are painting. Then we started thinking of who should we target. So we said, of course, you know, Southeast Asia, let's target our neighboring countries, you know, and we maybe need to hire locals that understand each country's culture, set up local offices. That's what we wanted to do. Then we start talking about what type of support structure that we needed, and how do we solve time zone differences, if any. And then we also started thinking that, you know, to sustain, right, we need a digital marketing team. Before that, we didn't have, since we're in Malaysia, you know, it's like, we feel that everybody knows us, we don't really need a strong digital marketing team. But we created our own marketing and communications team because of this. And then we said that we need a very strong and flexible framework, ready built product components, because we don't want to be customizing each time we go to a different country, and figure out how to optimize business operations, processes, and decision making. So that was our goal. But guess what happened. These are what challenges at sea, Southeast Asia, okay? These are good fun. Okay, we went to Indonesia multiple times. We actually held conferences, tried to find resellers, unsuccessful. We went to Thailand multiple times also, you know, I had to travel there personally. I traveled so much after the 2017, 2018 because we were trying to go overseas. And we also went to Myanmar, held conferences and all that. And guess how many customers we actually got from any of these countries? Zero. Okay. We realized the problem of Southeast Asia is that we think that we are Southeast Asia, you know, that we are a group, but no. Every one of us speak a different language, okay? And we have different culture. When we go to Thailand, we actually need translators, you know, so it's very different than going to an English-speaking country. And we actually had to find out the hard way. And it's not easy finding resellers as well. So what happened next? In 2018, surprisingly, okay, actually all the while, JurisTech has been going through what we call word of mouth, because every time we implement a solution, other people will hear about it because we like to implement things that's a bit revolutionary that people have not done before. And then from this word of mouth, we'll start getting other customers calling us and asking us, you know, whether we can actually do something for them. So surprisingly, our next customer in 2018 was from the Middle Eastern region, and because it's English speaking, okay. And one of our customers, actually not customers, prospects that I was meeting in Malaysia, he actually went to actually set up a bank in Dubai. And what happened was that I was supposed to contact him, but I didn't. Okay, I didn't contact him. And then after that, he was looking for loan origination systems. And apparently he was looking at 7 to 8 loan origination systems, and he almost gave up because he wanted something that's truly digital, because he wanted to build a digital bank. And he remembered me because I keep on telling him that our software is the one that's truly digital. Okay. And he found me through LinkedIn. He said it was so hard to find me, but when he found me, he said, he contacted me, and then true enough, I met all their credit guys and all that, and they say, yes, you are the software that we want because we are going to go digital with you. So, so we managed to penetrate an English-speaking country. And then after that, we managed to penetrate Australia, English-speaking again. So we found that, hey, it's easier for us, instead of going to Southeast Asia, this is our own journey, right? To go to those English-speaking nations, okay? So, okay, and then of course, that's when we've also formed our marketing team, because we said we really need to do digital marketing and things like that. So that's why in 2017, you can see that international leads were coming more from word of mouth. And in 2018, when we formed our marketing team, we decided to provide thought leadership. We'll actually release like few articles in a week. We have a very clear and better overall messaging. So, and I think we're doing quite well. So let's say if we say that we want to do eKYC, so we just need to publish an article and then we actually get leads. So that's where it's very important to actually optimize on something called Google. In fact, even some of these big companies that found us, even in Malaysia, when I asked them, how do you find us? Last time it was always through word of mouth. Now they said it's Mr. Google. Okay. So in 2021, we actually did a count and we see that 20% of our leads are now coming from international markets. And we have a process now where we are successfully onboarding resellers and we are acquiring leads through them. And we can provide very accurate response for international markets because now we actually have our best practices. We are ready. We are ready. And when we actually serve these customers, because of the pandemic, one thing that happened and the big change, like I was saying, from 2018 onwards, I've been traveling, like I go to so many countries, you know, I've never traveled as much as I have. But since the pandemic happened in 2020 and 2021, I still remember in 2020 when we had a prospect in Indonesia, just to find out their requirements before I give a demo, they want us to fly down and talk to them. Now we don't need to fly anywhere. They'll just say, are you ready for a Zoom call? So that is something that I think that is a game changer for us in terms of you're talking about going overseas. The other thing is that because a lot of our customers overseas, they're actually on cloud platforms. So we are doing our user requirement, our system integration testing, our rollouts, everything via cloud. Okay, so, and we have pivoted ourselves to be product-centric so that we can actually grow instead of project-centric. So product-centric means that we have product teams Every time we want to onboard a customer, the product team handles everything instead of having lots and lots of project teams that's actually customized at the customer sites. Okay, so basically what I want to share is that if you want to grow, I think is to expand, adapt, and repeat, which means that no matter what the market, it's more of your own experimentation to find the best ways of nurturing and closing the leads while pursuing global expansion. Okay, so what happened next, 2021? By now, we realized that we actually have customers in different places. We also have offices. We set up an office in Uganda recently in Africa because we want to penetrate the African region, and we're actually doing a lot of SEO there. And basically, our office in Africa is supporting our Dubai operations. The reason is because we realized that the working hours, they're working on Sunday and all that, you can actually have, our guys have problems supporting them. So we actually want to create someone of their region and time zone. And of course, we have an office because we acquire iMoney in Philippines. And now, yeah, 20% of our leads are all international. So, okay, what are the products that people are looking for global innovation? We find that the products that are selling well is one of them is called JurisTech, our digital onboarding platform. Because now, especially the pandemic, nobody can go to branches and say that, hey, I actually want to sign up a loan. So can you do everything frictionless on the internet? That's where we are saying that onboarding anyone, anytime, anywhere, using what we call making it as easy as 1, 2, 3. Why is it 1, 2, 3? In the first minute, customer can apply online. Second minute, they just need to update necessary information and upload the documents. And in the third minute, we already made a decision and you can actually get your loan disbursed. So that's actually our ambition and our vision. Okay, and this product is actually, we find what people are looking for now. The second one, of course, is that we have been investing in AI for a very long time, but AI somehow been quite elusive when you talk about credit scoring and banking transactions. So that's where we are saying that now it's there's a lot of demand, and we have actually created a product called Juris Minecraft. What it does is that it allows business users to become citizen data scientists. What does that mean? You see, a lot of times if you want to implement in any AI, you need to actually have data scientists, your line of business, your data engineers, IT architects, and your data science ops. And not everyone can afford to create this type of structure to run data science. So what we did is that we created a tool. It's not only a tool, a solution that allows you to just feed the robot with data and just drop your file, and we actually provide the whole deployment pipeline, and within minutes you can actually deploy AI. Okay, so how does it work? What happened is that we figure out how to operationalize AI with data ops, which means that once the data comes in, we handle all the data pipelines, and we actually do model ops, which means that how do you train the model, do continuous learning and monitor. And then finally, DevOps, how do you deploy it? Because it's our software is all on the cloud. The minute you train it, you can see within a few minutes, you can already run it. So yeah, so actually, in summary, okay, what we did was that we really needed to have the vision first, because initially, like I said, we wanted to be local, and then we wanted to go global. We need to also chart a trajectory. In 2018, we also said that we're not going to go fast and like set up multiple offices and things like that, because we need to work on our agility and sustainability. Can we really deliver into different countries or not? Can our software handle time zones? Can we do automated deployment? So these are all the things that we are preparing to do. And then the other thing, of course, we pivoted because we went to Southeast Asia, it didn't work, and we pivoted. And secondly is that don't compare. I really never compare my journey with other people's journey. Just be comfortable in your own growth spurt. It doesn't matter if you haven't expanded to like 5, 6 countries. And in fact, for us, we are still doing it. We are still struggling. We have not succeeded, and said that we've conquered how many nations. And you need to really double down on your own area of expertise. What is it that you can actually offer that's of value to other people overseas? And then finally, I would just say, let's set sail, create your own sail and your own journey. And if you're interested more in what we provide, you can actually go and visit our virtual booth. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Hope everyone is doing good. My name is Kevin Lee, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of GHL Systems Berhad. So today, the topic that I'll be sharing with you will be the digital payment disruption in ASEAN. And these are some of the topics that I'll be running through during this session, covering in terms of the growth of ASEAN digitalization and ending with how ASEAN has been strategically positioned. So as we know that there has been exponential growth in terms of digitalization journey and process in ASEAN, where the digital economy remains very resilient at $100 billion GMV, even in the face of this economy slowdown. Last year itself, year 2020, has also significantly accelerated several existing trends, hence moving towards a more growth in terms of digitalization. And a lot of people have also said that because of the pandemic and COVID, they are really the CTO and the CIO that has also spearheaded many digitalization process during this period of time. Countries across ASEAN have also laid down several digital frameworks during this time to drive the digital migration and to achieve digital economy status in the next 5 to 10 years. For example, Malaysia. Early of the year, the government announced several initiatives and blueprint, which is called the My Digital, in view to spearhead such initiatives to digitalize certain programs within the government sector, enabling digitalization among the SME or micro SME, and across all pillars of digitalization, whether it's digital payments, supply chain, inventory, procurement, and etc., etc. Hence, the region's digital economy is definitely on track to cross the target of $300 billion by 2025. And these are based on the research that's done by the likes of Google, Temasek, and Bain & Company. So we know that digital payments is one of the core pillars in the whole digital transformation process or the digitalization process. Hence, it's a backbone of the digital economy and also an epicenter of the digital transformation. Cash transaction by consumers expected to decline from 60%, which is pre-COVID, to 49% post-COVID and trending down. And this is what we have also seen in the data that we have and in the business that we run across ASEAN. Hence, with the boost of COVID-19 or from COVID-19, we see that by 2025, GTV estimates digital payments to attain two-folds, which is equivalent to $1.2 trillion. So in the market that we have also seen digital payments increase month on month, from cash-based transaction to digital payments such as e-wallet and also debit payments as well. But traditionally, it's all cash-based transaction, and not just in Malaysia, but also in Philippines, Thailand as well. And this growth is also not just at the big merchants, but it's also at the small merchants, which is the SME or micro SME. So we really see adoption there, and also there's been a lot of awareness as well. So how is GHL? What is GHL's role in this evolution, in this exciting growing landscape in ASEAN? GHL is one of the largest non-bank merchant acquirer and payment solution provider and payment enabler in ASEAN. We offer extensive payment solution, both online and offline, to the merchants, and as well as providing other services to the financial institutions or the banks that are in the digital payment business. we are listed in the main board of Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange, and we process averagely about 2 billion ringgit payment transaction volume per month. We've been around for 27 years, and we currently have a reach of 6 countries, mainly in ASEAN, and managing a footprint of more than 387,000, supported by great staff force of more than 1,000 staff. Hence, you can see that we are very much in the ASEAN space, hence our tagline, the ASEAN Payment People. So this is a bit more of a deep dive in terms of our reach across ASEAN. As you can see, being headquarters in Malaysia, which is where we started, we have more than 239,000 footprint that we manage, followed by Philippines, Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia, and also a small business that we have in Australia. And this footprint is still continuing to be growing as we continue to acquire more merchants, going down to smaller merchants, SME, micro SME across the region, both online and offline. So our businesses are categorized into 3 main business pillars. The first one is what we call transaction payment acquisitions. In short, we call it TPA. And then followed by shared service and solution services. So transaction payment acquisition is what we call as the merchant acquiring business, or the digital payment merchant acquiring business, where we enable merchant offline, online with digital payment acceptance, whether it's credit card, debit card, which is what we call card payments, or could be mobile e-wallet payments, which is the likes of in Malaysia, we have Touch and Go, Boost, GrabPay, ShopeePay, just to name a few, and other countries as well, Philippines, Thailand, which they have their own domestic e-wallet acceptance. We also have value-added services, which we also enable our merchants to sell or to provide prepaid top-ups and bill collection as well, which is under the umbrella of the ePay service or the ePay business. And again, like what I've mentioned, we cover both online and offline. And moving forward, there's also other services that we want to offer back to our merchants as part of the whole digitalization journey, which we are looking at, digital lending to capitalize on, and also new innovative products like buy now, pay later, for example. Under the shared service, it's basically how GHL has started 27 years ago, providing services to the banks. And we are still doing it today. Hence, you will see that there's a lot of these credit card machines that it's in the market that's by the banks, and you will see there's a GHL logo there. So it's maintained by us and supported by us to the banks. And other solution services, it's the other hardware and software products that we have. For example, we provide a loyalty solution to a petrol company in Malaysia, in Philippines, and Thailand for loyalty processing. And also, for example, Starbucks in Philippines is also using our solution. Major banks in Malaysia and in the region also uses our hardware products for their payment transaction processing platform. So you as a merchant, when you come to ASEAN, you will only look for GHL because we'll be providing, we'll be able to provide you a comprehensive, what we call omni payment channel solution, whether it's offline, online, and across the region. So as you can see, there's multiple payment methods or acceptance in Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines for cards, which is the Visa, MasterCard, UnionPay, for example. And we work very closely to provide local domestic acceptance. For example, in Malaysia, like what I mentioned, Touch and Go, Boost. Thailand, you have got True Money, AirPay, Dolphin. In Philippines, you have got the likes of GCash, GrabPay, Pay, and Indonesia itself, GoPay over Dana. And on the online space, we have got multiple payment channels as well, the likes of Google Pay, PayPal. And for cross-border, we work with the likes of Ants Financial to provide Alipay and WeChat across all countries, across the region. So So we pride ourselves as the one of the largest non-bank merchant acquirer, providing omni-payment channel solution, and not just to the big merchants, but going down to the underserved segment as well, the SME and the micro SME. So everyone is talking about what's going to happen post-COVID, when the borders open, when tourism is back to normal again. So one of the exciting things is people are talking about cross-border, but no longer talking about the Alipay or the WeChat or the Chinese cross-border, but now we're talking about ASEAN cross-border. And for the past 1 month, there has also been in the news where there's certain collaboration between Malaysia, which is PayNet, with Thailand, which is ITMX, to do cross-border payments. And just fresh from the oven yesterday, there's also been a press release by Indonesia and Thailand for similar partnership to do cross-border payments. And definitely we're going to be seeing this to be more exciting, especially for the next 6 months to 1 year. And definitely GSL will be in this space to play a very significant role because of our presence in ASEAN to facilitate such cross-border payments within these countries. One of the very exciting things that's also happening in this region is buy now, pay later. Where a couple of years back, it's all started in Australia, and then in the US, and then in the UK. And just last year, this has been a hot topic in this region. And you can see the chart on the top right, basically it's an overview of all the buy now, pay later providers in globally. And of course, there's a few that's in Asia and ASEAN, the likes of Atomi, Hula, and a few more. So globally, BNPL is definitely a booming market that's set to grow from $7.3 billion in 2019 to projected $33.6 billion by 2027. And buy now, pay later essentially is a payment method that now allows you to make purchases in installments with very appealing features, including 0% interest and easy onboarding. And this is very much targeted to a segment of customers that traditionally do not enjoy this because they don't have a credit card or they were not eligible for a credit card, etc., etc. So now, with this segment of customers, they can now enjoy such facility or benefits. Hence, GSL, we have also done several partnerships with partners such as Grab for their pay later, Split, and Atomi as well. And we will continue to be playing a significant role in this space, providing more innovative acceptance of products to the merchants. So it'll be quite exciting to see how this space to evolve this year and next year for buy now, pay later. Hence, as a conclusion, is that we're seeing there's a lot of things that's happening in ASEAN, and ASEAN is well positioned strategically, especially during this season, during this period of time, and to see how this digitalization process to continue to evolve. Hence, payment players now will really need to define their role in this evolution. Also critical to stay relevant and to continue to improve customer experience or merchant experience. From GSL perspective, we will always continue to embrace these changes as ASEAN market is one of the most exciting markets globally. So we'll continue to be providing innovative products and solutions to not just the merchant, but to the consumer as well. Again, not just in Malaysia, but across the region. And we're quite excited to see how this continue to develop over the next few years. So that's the ending of my sharing session today. And we have a virtual booth in place. Welcome everyone to visit us at our virtual booth and to be connected with us and to see what kind of opportunities we could partner, having the same mission to enable more digitalization initiatives in ASEAN and in Malaysia. Thank you very much.
Good day, everyone. Hi, my name is George Lee. I'm the CEO and founder of Innovative Solution. We are an AI company that basically does eKYC solution for the region. So allow me to share my slide. And today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you about our journey of building a world-class eKYC solution. Before that, in the beginning, allow me to briefly tell you what exactly does Innovative do. Innovative is incorporated in 2011. We are a company that is targeting the whole entire ASEAN region. So we have customers as well as partners in all the ASEAN countries. What we do is we use AI solution to empower eKYC or digital identification of customers online. Now more and more, you see the trend that businesses are starting to say that they need to go online and they need to onboard customer digitally. But when you are doing onboarding, there's also a risk of onboarding fraudulent customer, which can not only lead to financial losses, it can also lead to penalties from the authorities. In a recent survey that was being published, in 2020 alone, the total global loss for identity fraud amount to $56 billion. And in Malaysia, if you take the classic case of a telecommunication company, every fraudulent customer that you onboard, the regulator can actually fine you up to $12,000. Now, on the average of 20 such fraudulent customer a month, you're already running a risk of close to $3 million in terms of fine yearly. How do we solve the problem for this customer is that we provide a SaaS-based solution that is not only very quick to implement, but it also enable our customers to only pay what they need to use. Technically, what we do is we use the AI technology to basically check if the customer that you are onboarding behind the computer or the smartphone screen is who he or she is. And at the same time, we check the ID that's been taken to see if there's any element of fraud. And if the person in front is actually a live person and not something from a computer screen. And of course, we have the option to cross-check with various databases to ensure that the customer is not a fraudulent one. By deploying our solution, our customers are seeing a 35% reduction in fraud cases compared to when they are doing KYC manually. We are serving in the different regions, whether in telcos, banking, fintech, insurance, and now we are even moving into the non-conventional eKYC market segment, such as property tech, such as investment tech, and various other industries as well. Now, our journey into producing this eKYC product is not something that we started from day one when we started Innovative. Back in 2011, there's no such thing as eKYC when we started the company. So what we were doing back then is that we were doing process automation software. So what we do is that we go into companies and we help them to digitize their process. So we look at how to basically map up the whole solution, what paper you have, what form you have, how can you do electronic approval. So that's what we were really doing, you know. But then only in 2014 that we move into enterprise mobility, because when we are doing all the process automation, then we realize there's a lot of opportunity in customer onboarding. Yeah, and when we do mobility, we find that that is something that is also in trend at that point of time. But as we grow organically, we stumble upon the opportunity to also basically look into the area of identity. Yeah, as we are doing customer onboarding on the enterprise mobility platform, we find that, hey, there's a lot of opportunity for us to use reader, especially in Malaysia. You can use a MyCard reader on an Android device to basically authenticate customer on the go. That enables us to enable a lot of our customers where they have a large agent pool, you know, in the thousands that actually go out to the market to serve customer or to recruit members. But as we are doing that, then we realize that the customer are telling us that, hey, there is an opportunity to do this digitally. Can you help me? Not to use the reader, but how can I do this whole entire thing digitally? And that's where it opened up our opportunity into the eKYC segment. And today, 75% of our business evolved around eKYC, and our goal today is to take this from Malaysia to the global scene. Now, there are some lessons that we learn as we are doing the whole entire journey, yeah, of bringing up our solution. So from day one, when we started doing something like process automation, which is very project-based, we realized the problem we have is that it was very difficult for us to have sustaining recurring revenue. That means is that if you are familiar with IT projects, then you are looking at building a solution at X amount of cost, yeah, based on time and material, and you charge the customer a yearly maintenance, which usually goes down to about 15 or 18%, or things like that. But we find that the struggle we have to grow as an organization is that we then have to look for such opportunity over and over again every year to cover the company growth and expenses, because the recurring customer that we are keeping are only giving us 15% or whatever that we are charging them last year. So we then look for something that is more sustainable and also recurring for us. And that's why we move into enterprise mobility, where we can charge our customer on a per agent per month basis. Yeah, but when we open up into something like eKYC, it's even better because it's on a per usage basis, and customers need to operate their business every year. They need to onboard new customers every year, and that have given us recurring revenue yearly. As of today, our business has close to 50% in terms of annual recurring revenue, and we aim to even bring that higher. The next lesson we learned is that we have to look at something that is short in selling cycle and fast in implementation. Even when we were doing the project days, we are very ambitious to look at how can we even serve customer out of Malaysia, because in our mind is we cannot depend our business on one single customer market. What if the economy is bad? What if the political situation is not stable? And how can we have more different countries that we can depend on? But the challenge of it is that when you are doing project-based selling, it's a very, very long selling cycle. You're talking about 9 months to a year, and even implementation is long. When we do process automation, I can tell you it takes at least 6 months to 1 year for any typical implementation. And we are not talking about large scale, we're talking about the very normal implementation. But when we're doing enterprise mobility, it took up to the highest amount was basically, it took about 3 to 4 months on average to do implementation. And today, when we do eKYC, it's almost just in a matter of days. You can already integrate to our API and have the whole eKYC system running. So this helps us to basically leverage and grow our business, where we can actually put a lot of focus in selling, getting it out to as many customers as possible in the market, and it's basically speed up our growth as well. And of course, we always have to learn from the things that we do. And what better way but to learn from our customers? So when we, like I mentioned earlier, when we were doing the readers on the mobility devices, we learned from our customers that they say, hey, there's a lot of opportunity to do digital because readers can go missing, readers can be broken, and it's difficult for me to distribute readers as my agent keeps changing. And we started to explore the mobility area, and that's when we found out that, hey, there's an opportunity to OCR ID. And when we OCR ID, then we found out that, hey, there's also a need to match the ID photo to the person behind the camera. And that's when we do facial recognition. But liveness is so important. What if it's a fake photo? So then liveness was also added in. And that's how we started a lot with the telecommunication sector. And then when you move on to the financial sector, then they ask, how can you be sure the ID is not fake? So, and that's when we basically use AI to develop our algorithm to do all this matching. So this is basically things that we need to learn. We need to listen to the feedback, and we need to look at what is the market trend and basically build our product along this line and move it on from there to basically adapt to all the different markets. Niche customer segment are also very important because you need something where you can focus. Our mistake in the early days when we started the business was that we were everywhere, because when you're doing project-based, you just want to get something to basically survive. But when we move into enterprise mobility, when we move into eKYC, we realize that, hey, there are a certain market segment that we can actually focus on, because every single customer mindset is the same. Who have you implemented this solution before? Am I the first one? Nobody wants to be the first one. They want to be safe. So when you have done it for one customer segment, you want to replicate this thing into the customer segment over and over again. And we did this very successful with the telecommunication sector, which is today one of our biggest customer segment, before we move this into the fintech, as well as the financial and the other area. So a niche customer segment is something that also is important for us to focus on. And of course, we need to understand the market. As we try to bring this product out of Malaysia, we spend a lot of time before going to any market, where we always go there and we look for partners. We try to understand the local environment, the local usage model, before we design how our software need to change and localize to each and every one of the individual market that we go to. Innovative also have a holding company. I mean, not holding company, we have a fully owned company in Singapore as well as a joint venture in Indonesia. But before we actually went into all this, we spent 2 years before that surveying the market, going there multiple times, talking to the local partners and understanding how everything works before we go into the whole entire market itself. And of course, we needed things that can grow very, very fast, where you need something that once you build it, you can replicate it to many markets in an instant. And we find that eKYC was the one that gave us this opportunity, because when we have this as a service on the cloud, we are able to have API readies, and we have our customer, for example, in the other side of Philippines, who are able to just take it up, test it, consume it, and start using it. This way, we don't need a large implementation team that go around. And in fact, as of today, we are still securing customers from other countries, and everything all was basically done from the mobile. I mean, from a work from home platform, as we can actually do everything digitally. And not to forget, the most important are also your team members. And all this was also possible, because of the team members that we have. So in fact, we only started the company with me and Tian Sun being full-time. Peng Nam was our CFO who did part-time. And along the way, we start to recruit people that we know to start to join the company. And we also train up our staff who we can actually bring to the next level, to be part of the key management team. So these are also things that we actually does along the way to make sure that, we are able to bring this thing global. So today, we have regional customers all over ASEAN. In last year, we estimated that we did about 3.5 million verifications in 2020, and we hope to double it this year. But our goal is moving forward is really to then rework on all this strategy with the team and basically bring this thing global. Our vision is to be the global leader in ID assurance. And how are we going to do that is that we have a mission to make sure that as we move forward, we want eKYC to go down to every single level, not just on the enterprise, but down to every business and individual level where everyone can also verify anyone. With that, I'd like to end my presentation. Thank you very much for your time. Now, feel free to check out our virtual booth at the Malaysia Tech Month. And we will be happy to connect with you from there. Thank you very much. And I'd like to wish everyone having a safe week ahead. Take care. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share with all of you how IP88 expand its businesses beyond Malaysian shore. And we always believe, and as well as our key expansion strategy is always global expansion through our strength. Now, first and foremost, let me introduce myself. I'm one of the co-founder of IP88 group of company, and I also being appointed adjunct professor by National University of Malaysia, UKM. And today I'm glad MDEC invite me for this sharing of how IP88 expand into the global scene. About us, IP88, we are the leading and award-winning regional payment company in Southeast Asia. We provide innovative solutions to accept payment, both online and offline retail. We are very passionate about delivering services excellence to the region's most progressive businesses. And up to today, we have more than 350 plus professional team members We connected more than 100 over financial institutions, and currently we service more than 50 over 1,000 merchants all over Malaysia as well as in Southeast Asia. Now, in Southeast Asia, we have a very strong presence. We are the strong market leader in Malaysia. We have offices in Singapore, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, as well as Cambodia. And we have been in this region for many, many years. Now, IP88, we believe in our strategy where success breeds success. And IP88 is a very successful story way back in Malaysia. We are a very strong market leader in Malaysia with a very strong market share. And because of our success in Malaysia, we actually bring our success strength into other countries. Now, what you can see is that from this particular diagram, in Malaysia, we have developed a lot of state-of-the-art payment product and services. And because of these very successful payment services that cater for many verticals in Malaysia, we actually bring this solution into regional countries, especially in Southeast Asia. And we turn this payment solution into a regional solution. And from there, we actually able to recruit a lot of regional clientele as well as customers. And of course, to be successful in this region, especially in Southeast Asia, every country that we go, we have to ensure that we have the licenses to operate a very much regulated industry, which is a payment industry. And payment industry in all countries are regulated by few acts. One of the act is the Financial Act as well as the Anti-Money Laundering Act. So we are highly regulated industry, particular the Anti-Money Laundering Act. So with that, we actually create a digital ecosystem, especially in payment within this Southeast Asia region, in order that we able to provide payment borderlessly as well as seamless for our user. Now, when I say borderless as well as seamless means one day, whatever payment option that you have, take for example, your e-wallet. I'm very sure a lot of Malaysians have e-wallets. And the moment you arrive in other country, especially in Southeast Asia, let's say Thailand or Singapore or Philippines, you don't even need to change cash in order to make transaction. The same e-wallet, it can be used seamlessly. It is automatically the conversion between currency will be happen within all the ecosystem that IP88 has created. Now, because of our success story and because we have been very successful in providing payment solution for every vertical market, therefore, our strategy expanding into the global or regional is always, with our success, we make market entry. As you can see from the diagram, with market entry in very targeted countries. Once we are into the targeted country, we will grow our business through providing a very unique as well as state-of-the-art services, payment services. And from there, we start to expand within the country so that we always aspire to be one of the top 3 payment player, if not the #1 payment player in every country that we have present in. Now, we will continue to expand our product offering as well as our market share in every country in order to be the market leader. Now, at the same time, in every country that we have present in, we always talk about we have to attain sustainability in terms of businesses in every country that we have present in. Now, sustainability, we strongly believe in ESG model, where it is actually we are very concerned as well as about the environment, the social impact, as well as the strict governance of our businesses in every country. Now, this is the model that we have been, IP has been practicing in every country we are present in. Now, global expansion through our strength. The key strength that we have is always we must have a very comprehensive product offering. This is one of our very unique selling point. Now we have connected to more than 100 over financial institutions. That is one of the key. The more financial institutions you are connected, the more seamless that you can offer services to whether it's a B2B or B2C customers. We also support very comprehensive payment options like credit cards, online banking, e-wallets, over-the-counter like payment at the convenience store, as well as installment. I'm sure now a lot of people are aware of a very popular payment option called Buy Now, Pay Later. Now, these are all the payment options we must have in order to provide the services across Southeast Asia, as well as in future, we are talking about global expansion. And then in order to build your market share, as well as to able to sustain in foreign countries, our support is very important. Support in terms of online support for online businesses, as well as offline businesses, O2O. Now, online e-commerce payment gateway, we always target to B2B, B2C, and even C2C in future. And we are talking about payment via terminal, via kiosk and devices. So having a very unique, comprehensive payment services is not enough, but it's one of the key for you to enter a market. The next you need to do is on the left-hand side of my diagram, you can see localization. Now, localization is very important. A lot of people didn't take seriously in terms of product localization. A lot of mistakes a lot of companies made is they thought the same solution that they can have it in Malaysia, it can be duplicate or replicate 100% and being used in Thailand or Philippines. Now, let me caution everyone who are listening is localization is one of the key success factor, whether you can make it or whether you can sustain in a foreign country. That's very important. Therefore, localization, you need license by local authority. That is a must. You cannot act very naive and don't know where any businesses that are regulated, do you need a license or not? The key is before you even start a business that you know or you suspect that you need a license, you have to ensure that, all right, license is needed. If license is needed, you have to get the license. Because whatever you have done, the moment the authority said you have no license to operate, whatever investment you have invested in that particular country is all go into the base. Now, of course, the next is local presence with local team. That is very, very important. There's no such thing as you can understand the local market better than the local team, be it in the development of the products and services, in terms of supporting the clients in the local countries. The local of the local countries will definitely understand better than us in Malaysia. Therefore, building up a local presence or local team is very, very important. And of course, the local support and the local know-how. Localized product feature and function is a must. I would like to share, like for example, certain countries in Thailand. There are a lot of conglomerate in Thailand. One of the requirements, besides you can provide a payment services, that payment services it has to be in Thai language. So if you think that, as long as services can be used and it is in English, and English is a universal language, and you assume that people will use your services, you'll be very, very wrong about that perception. Now, some of this company will say, oh, if without any Thai dual language, including English and Thai, they definitely they definitely wouldn't use our services. So we have learned in our early years that localization is very, very important. Then you need a very experienced team to support all the local team in every country that you have. The experienced team have to actually build from your HQ. If your HQ in Malaysia, you must have a team of people, whether it's in marketing, in support, in sales, in IT. Now, this team is very important. These are the team that are going to support and align with all the local team in every countries that you have. So payment solution to vertical industry, we must know exactly what we are offering to telco, to insurance, to property, medical, and so on and so forth. So you cannot go to a foreign country and say that, oh, let's learn together. There's no such thing, learn together. The moment you are in foreign land, the clients of those countries that you are in expect you are the subject matter expert. So if you don't know the industry subject matters, so the perception that you're going, or the branding that you're going to get from the local clients will be that, no, your solution is up to mark or at par, even to the local competitor. To let you know, IP88 over the years, our regional exposure and know-how. In Philippines, we have been in Philippines for more than 8 years. Indonesia, 15 years. Cambodia, we just started Cambodia and Thailand 2 years ago. By now should be 2 years plus. So experienced team is very important. And of course, other strength that IP88 has is a strong relationship with the bank, financial institution, card scheme, and regulators. We must have strong relationship with regulator. Businesses like IP88, no choice. Everybody, you have to have a strong relationship so that you know what is the latest financial regulation or compliance that you need to follow. Is ultimate important for you to really follow the each country rules and regulation, because we are in a business that's highly regulated. Of course, to build your branding is equally important. Now, you can ask yourself, you are a foreign company, you enter a foreign countries. If your branding is not strong, how do you expect the merchant or your customers to have faith in your product, services, as well as your support? And of course, IP88, we are part of NTD data via Malaysia, IP Malaysia. The NTD data, because they are the global, very successful global company from Japan, it actually brings us a lot of value in terms of branding as well as credibility. That's very important. Next. Okay, over the years, for the last 10 over years or 8 over years, IP88 has built up a very strong partnership in most of the countries. As you can see from this slide, IP88 in ASEAN, we provide almost all payment options in all countries, be it in Cambodia, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia. And we also have a very solid, as well as a very big, huge conglomerate all over the region that use our services. Now, some of our clients' reference track record, as you can see, IP88 has been building a lot of vertical payment solutions, whether in insurance, travel, healthcare, telco, F&B, retail chain, e-commerce, of course, education like university, mobile manufacturer, and so on and so forth. Now, these are client reference, and these are very important. You see, when you go to overseas foreign countries to establish your businesses, all the merchant, the domestic merchant, they need to know how good you are. If you don't have a world-class customer as your merchant or as a customer, they will find very difficult to accept, number one, whether your solution works or not. Number two, whether you're long-term or not to be in the market. Because if all these big names, global brands use your solution, that shows that they are confident that you are committed and your presence in that particular country is for long-term, and that's very crucial. And of course, before I end my sharing, I would like to give you some takeaways. What are the key takeaways for you all to consider and must have before you actually look into expansion in whether into the region as well as whether into global or not? Now, first and foremost, you must have your strength, or at least you must have your USP, your unique selling points. What are your unique selling points? Now, unique selling points and strength can come from your product and services. Your product and services must be one of the best in the country that you are originate from. Now, if in Malaysia you are not the best, how can you expect people to believe in you that you have the right product and services for them? So that's very important. You must develop a product, an award-winning or very unique product and services that are proven in your own countries before you even think about going overseas. Now, second, the market reach as well as the connectivities, that's very important. Now, if before you even go to any foreign countries, you must ask yourself, do you have all this market reach or not? Who are the people that can help you to extend your market reach? For example, MDEC is one of a very good agency that able to help you for your global expansion. If you want to know more, MDEC has a division, have a pillar called Gain, and this Gain in MDEC, what they did is they actually bring Malaysian companies to expand out of Malaysia, and there are a lot of things they can support you. Beside advisory, they also connects you into local partner, connects you into the local authority. For example, if you want to meet up with certain banks, certain authority in certain countries, MDEC can be a very good agency, especially the Gain division. They can really help you to connect with all these connection. All right, that's very important. Then the number three is, before you think about going into overseas, you must have a very strong and capable management team, and they have the ability to build a local team in the country that you wanted to go. And this local team, to build the local team for localization is very important. All right. So over the years, IPAA have a solid key team. I call it the key A team members, where these are the people who have been with IPAA for more than 10 over years. They know that these are the key staff, not just only at C level, but at manager level. They know the IPAA culture in and out, IPAA vision, IPAA philosophy in terms of global expansion as well as regional expansion, and also what it takes to be successful. That's very important. And of course, before you think about going overseas or global expansion, commitment and financial strength is another very, very important. You cannot try your luck to expand into overseas without preparing yourself in terms of how committed you are, and of course, how is your financial strength in order to support overseas expansion, because overseas expansion never easy, right? And there are time, or there are many times, a lot of things unexpected you have to overcome before you can even start doing businesses. Now, this involves a lot of financial muscle that you must have in order to overcome. Therefore, if you are not prepared in terms of financial strength, as well as a commitment from the management team, you better really think twice before you decide to go expand out of Malaysian shore. And of course, lastly, ESG is very important. We are talking about sustainability in terms of environment, what are the social impact, as well as good governance. That's very important. The reason now is all over the world, the millennials, they always believe in ESG. If your company do not believe in ESG, therefore, targeting the millennial in every countries outside Malaysia can be very challenging. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I would like to wish all of you, ladies and gentlemen, a very successful and meaningful global expansion journey. With that, thank you so much.
Hi everyone, this is Timothy Cheah from Visa Malaysia, and I head up digital partnerships at Visa Malaysia, working with our leading fintechs as well as digital players across Malaysia on how we can partner with them to develop new and innovative solutions, leveraging on Visa's payment capabilities as well as Visa's payment network. Today, I would like to share with you some of the Visa programs that fintechs and startups in Malaysia can actually collaborate and partner with Visa on to develop some of this new digital and payment commerce experience. What I'd like to share today would also be some of the latest payment trends and statistics on how Malaysia has accelerated in terms of digital payments over the past 12 months, especially in the backdrop of COVID-19. So without further ado, let's get to today's session. As part of the Malaysia Tech Month, MDEC has graciously invited Visa to share more about how Visa is powering and accelerating digital-first experiences and how we are working with fintechs, startups, and in the future, digital banks on how to enable these experiences. So what I'd like to share is, first of all, how Malaysia has fared in its transition to digital payments over the past 1.5 years. And what we can see, especially over the past 18 months, is the massive shift towards digital payments, whether it's in the form of card or in the form of e-wallets. Today, more than 7 out of 10 Malaysians use some form of cashless payment today, of which 65% of them are on contactless cards, and 70% of Malaysians are either using an e-wallet or an equivalent of an e-wallet. And what we've seen is that COVID-19 has really shifted that and accelerated that shift to cashless payments. In fact, based on some of our statistics, by more than 5 years, 3 to 5 years, and that shift to cashless payments has also brought about some interesting trends, as well as statistics with regards to the fragmentation of the payment landscape today. Today, we have different users who are on, who prefer to make their payments using contactless cards. But there are also users who are starting to be aware of how to use NFC payments, essentially using their mobile phones to pay at point of sale, such as Samsung Pay would be an example. A good example of other forms of mobile payments is also Apple Pay and Google Pay, although those two products are not yet in Malaysia. But however, we do see that there is a strong interest in users to shift towards mobile contactless payments as well. And of course, there is definitely a growing acceptance of QR code payments, of users using e-wallets to make payments, especially in the past few months with the whole pandemic situation, and the desire for users to stop or reduce the usage of cash. And where we see, what would be actually similar, regardless of the medium of payment, whether it's on cards, whether it's on mobile or it's on QR payment, is number one, the convenience of not carrying cash. And we believe that this is a trend that will continue to accelerate, and we will definitely not look back. And the other key thing that we have observed is, of course, the not just the convenience of not carrying cash, but also the ease of making a payment with any form of cashless payments, which essentially leads to a faster and more seamless payment experience. Of course, with regards to QR code payments or e-wallet payments, we also do see that there is the interest with the extra rewards that consumers can earn, whether it's in the form of a cashback or it's in the form of a discount when users use specific e-wallet payment methods. And what we've also increasingly observed is that COVID-19 and the pandemic situation has also further accelerated the shift towards e-commerce. More and more users are spending for the first time on e-commerce channels, whether it's marketplaces or by purchasing groceries for delivery of food. And of course, naturally, what we've seen is also a decrease in face-to-face spend or offline spend, given the lockdown conditions, the prevailing lockdown conditions in Malaysia. But what's interesting to note is that although spend for offline categories such as discount stores or retail goods have decreased, we have seen an increase in the purchase of food and groceries as people stay more and more at home. Insurance, as people look to gain more coverage for the pandemic, as well as increase in electronic goods. But what's interesting to note that for e-commerce, we have generally seen an increase in all categories in terms of spend for e-commerce, and we expect that to continue to accelerate and continue to grow, and a trend that would continue to stay. And what I'd like to cover next is also the shift towards digital and digital payments also provides opportunities for financial institutions to offer digital forms of services to their customers. And given that the central bank will also be issuing 5 new digital banking licenses to non-financial institutions to apply, there is tremendous opportunity and potential for both incumbent banks as well as the new incoming digital banks to provide more forms of accessible, affordable digital financial services to Malaysians. Visa did a consumer payments attitude study last year with regards to the readiness of Malaysians on digital banks. And what we found out was that more than 7 in 10 Malaysians today are actually aware of the digital banking concept. And more than 60% of them are actually interested to be a consumer or a customer of a digital banking product. Of course, the key drivers of interest for digital banking, what you will notice is that it's actually quite similar to what we have observed with regards to the increase of card usage and e-wallet usage, which is on convenience, the ease of speed in making payments, as well as having 24/7 access or anytime access to digital services. And I think that's a key part that we feel Visa will be able to support, whether it's fintechs, startups, or incoming digital banks, or even existing traditional banks, on how we could partner with them to provide new and innovative payment experiences. What we have also noticed is that the interest in the type of providers, majority of our consumers or Malaysians would be very interested if an existing bank were to offer digital a digital banking product. But what is interesting to highlight is also 71% of Malaysians are also keen to potentially be a customer if it's a non-financial brand. And this offers a lot of opportunities for players in the market who have strong ecosystems and customer bases. Some of the key services that Malaysians are looking out for a future digital bank would be ease in paying their bills, ease in transferring money to friends and family, the ability to pay across retail locations, ease in deposits and withdrawals, as well as access to investment and financial products. So what we would like to cover next is some of the programs, the visa programs that our fintech partners or potential digital bank applicants, as well as financial institutions, can actually support and collaborate with to allow our startups or solution providers to go global, to market their products globally, but also potentially to power new digital-first experiences. Today, I'd like to share on 3 key visa programs. The first is our Visa FinTech Fast Track program, which is actually an existing program that was launched since 2019, as well as 2 new programs that we have recently launched. And that is our Visa FinTech Partner Connect Marketplace program, as well as our Visa Accelerator program. So first, I would like to share about our Visa FinTech Partner Connect program. It is actually a marketplace program that connects solution providers that provide solution across some of the key areas such as digital onboarding, loyalty and rewards, data and API services, personal finance, as well as credential management, with our existing client network of more than 20,000 financial institutions and non-financial institutions today. So essentially, this marketplace program, the objective of this is to provide our clients with potential solutions or innovative use cases that they can go to market with, or they can close a particular gap that they might have through our solution providers. So for banks, what this means is potential faster go-to-market to launch new products. It could mean an opportunity to close a specific gap or to meet a specific need through our solution providers who are the experts in their respective areas. To our solution providers, what this means is leveraging on Visa's network to potentially get access to new clients, not only within Malaysia, but potentially across the region and globally. Of course, by being on our marketplace program, it also provides our startups and solution providers with the credibility that Visa's global brand brings. So for solution providers that are looking to join this program, we will be working with the solution provider to also get them to be Visa Ready certified, which is essentially Visa's endorsements of the solutions provider solution, which again gives a level of credibility to our clients. We will also work with our potential partners on exclusive commercial offers to be offered to our Visa clients, so that it would be also a win-win situation for both the solution provider as well as our clients. Last but not least, partners who are onboarded or who are accepted on this program will be featured in our Visa Partner Portal, which is a public site that can be accessed by any member of the public, and where we would be able to list out all of the different solution providers that our clients can refer to if they are looking for specific areas of need. What I'd like to highlight is that in Malaysia, we actually have onboarded a local Malaysian solution provider, which is JurisTech, and to provide digital onboarding and underwriting services for our clients today. And we are looking forward to accept and to work with more local Malaysian startups or solution providers to be onboarded to this marketplace program. The next program that I'd like to talk about is our Fintech Fast Track program. And this program actually provides a way for clients or fintechs and even digital banks to be onboarded to the Visa network and become a Visa issuer. This program would fast track the progress of fintechs or digital banks to be onboarded to our network, and we will be providing a fast track process from getting licensed, getting onboarded on the network, getting hand-holding support on how to become a Visa issuer, as well as access to our subject matter expertise with regards to issuance. To date, we actually have two local fintech partners who are graduates of our Fintech Fast Track program, and I believe they'll be speaking in today's session as well. That is Softspace and KepoPay. The last program that I'd like to share is our Visa Accelerator program. This is a program that we actually launched last year in December, and it is a way for us to work with visionary startups to partner with us by leveraging on our payments capabilities. This is actually a program that covers across Asia Pacific, and we are actually looking for startups that address these 4 key opportunity areas, which is on building network of networks, startups that are looking into leveraging open data and open data solutions, startups looking to drive e-commerce, as well as startups that are looking to provide SME tech to businesses. To date, we have actually onboarded 5 startups for our 2021 cohort, and I'm pleased to announce that we do have a Malaysian startup representative, and that is Collect. And we are looking forward to receive applications from local fintechs or startups for our Visa Accelerator cohort for 2022. So these are the 3 programs that I'd like to share today. And what I also like to invite fintechs and startups is to reach out to us if you have a particular idea, and we'll be happy to take you through together with our Innovation Center that is based in Singapore for potential experiential tours on understanding our payment capabilities, to go potentially through a discovery session to understand and to define and work with you to define potential opportunities, leveraging on our capabilities. And lastly, lead to a potential co-creation session for us to develop a solution together. So with that, I would like to end my presentation for today. For any further information of our programs, do contact me at this at my email below. And thanks for having me today.
So let me share a little bit about who we are and what we have been doing in the last 1 year in the fintech space in Malaysia. A little bit of background. KepoPay is a part of the Green Packet Group. And Greenpacket has been in the market in Malaysia since the last 20 years. And we have primarily been focusing a lot on technology and telecommunications. And we have embarked on the fintech journey since 2016 with the brand KeeperPay. So what do KeeperPay have to offer? Let me give a bit of background on our cashless ecosystem. Cashless is really the key theme of our solutions, whereby we pride ourselves to be one of the earliest cloud-based wallet or cloud-based payment platforms to be launching in Malaysia. So on our suite of solutions, we started with the payment gateway and the e-wallet, and after we've been working with the merchants and also some of the state governments and GLC tracks, we noticed that the market actually requires a lot more solutions as intermediaries to help them to bridge, right, the whole entire transition to be fully digitized, right? Realizing this, we have also developed other solutions to complement this transition process, and also at the same time to be able to help our clients to actually smoothen their transition, right? And at the same time, helping them to increase productivity and also revenue. So some of the key solutions that we have been working very closely with Bank Negara and also with the other enterprise players in the market is our digital onboarding platform, which enables banks and financial institutions or any organizations to actually onboard customers online seamlessly via eKYC solutions, and also our white labeling platform, which encompasses an end-to-end solution from the front end to the back end that will enable an enterprise entity to actually launch their own wallet with ease at a fraction of the time that will require them to build a new one. Right. So I'll get into that later on. But in overall, you can see that we have an end-to-end solution, including solutions that comes to virtual ordering system as well. Right. You might be wondering why a payment platform ventures into this. So the reason why we have such a wide spectrum of solutions is that the last 4 years has enabled us, or we have the privilege to actually work on these 3 key segments in Malaysia market, right? Championing financial inclusivity is really one of our key motto or key mission statement for our fintech solutions. And one of the key segments that we have been really working very closely with is with the state governments to actually facilitate or power the welfare aid distributions to the underprivileged, right? This might seem a little bit straightforward in terms of aid distribution, but what we are doing is a lot more. We have been building a white label wallet platform with the state governments for different programs. Here you see we have KIDA, which is Kasih Ibu Darul Aman, Berhad Prihatin, and Kasih Ibu Smart Selangor. We'll be working very closely with our partner Cellcare to actually enable this program in these 3 states where we have been distributing aids to close to about 30,000 recipients in the last 3 years. Right, and what we're doing is that we provide recipients with a front-end prepaid card, and at the same time we also enable participating merchants to be in this program by providing them a back-end where they are able to transact with the cards that's been received by the recipients. Right, this whole process is a huge digitizing process because we go down to the ground and we help the grassroots merchants to digitize their businesses. Right, this is the first time where in areas like some of the areas like Kuala Selangor, where some of the merchants are using a digital POS system for the first time ever. Some of them have been operating for 20 years and never been using a POS system before. Right, so this is a huge milestone when we talk about digitalization and also financial inclusivity in Malaysia. And since the pandemic started, we realized that there are a lot of small traders who are struggling as they can't do face-to-face business anymore, or rather they're not equipped to actually handle the whole pandemic a situation where they need to digitize themselves quickly, and also at a economical manner. So we have been working with our partners with SME Corp and Warung, which is championed by GPPP KKM, which is the Gabungan Penjaja dan Peniaga Kecil Melayu, Malaysia, and as well as with other states such as in Selangor, where we work together with Sri Lanka Biz, where we provide we power the Sri Lanka platform with a payment solution to enable merchants to actually accept payments from all major wallets and credit cards in Malaysia, right? So this is a huge exercise where we are talking about a population of more than 30,000 merchants in the state of Selangor alone. And so far, we are working very closely with the Sri Lanka team to actually onboard the first batch of the 12,000 merchants, right, in the program. And for digital para, we are supporting the states to actually digitize the license, state business license renewal and application, and also to provide the grassroots merchants in para with the same payment acceptance platform to enable them to continue to do business during this pandemic stage. Along with the platform, we not only enable payment, we also provide these merchants with a ordering platform where they are able to receive order online from their customers, right? And they can facilitate the delivery with partners in Warung, where they are providing the Warung Rider program in these participating states as well. So that's something we have been really actively rolling out since last year when the pandemic started. And also in the university space, we realized that a lot of the digital setup in universities are not as advanced as we hope it to be, and at the same time we realizing that the students have issues in adapting to the pandemic situation in universities. We provide the universities with a digital platform and a custom wallet to actually enable students to engage with merchants and also university services via our app, right? And along with this, we are proud to say that we'll be launching our Pay Visa card, prepaid Visa card, at the universities program, and also along with the other enterprises in our program. You see on this screen now, this coming quarter, and we're exciting to share with you later what are the different use cases that we have for our prepaid Visa card, right? And to elaborate more on the solutions that we did for universities, we are currently the largest cashless payment provider for all the government universities in Malaysia. So these are some of the universities that we've onboarded, and we'll be working very closely to enable the whole cashless environment for the universities. This is not just about introducing a wallet to enable students to pay via scanning a QR code. We are also digitizing the entire merchant ecosystem and service ecosystem in the universities to allow students to actually engage with the universities via a single app, right? And this also allows them to interact better, and also allow the universities to actually distribute certain aids to the students a lot more efficiently, where it enables all B40 students in the universities to access to their zakat grants or welfare aid via the app as well, right? So that's a huge effort, and we are making a lot of development in terms of e-learning as well to facilitate the post-pandemic requirements at the education environment, especially for our government universities, right? So the student visa card, the student prepaid visa card that we have envisioned actually will allow participating universities in our Keeper Uni program to actually have access to a lot more merchants out there leveraging on the visa network. And surprisingly, when we did the survey with the students, they are quite happy to be able to have a physical prepaid Visa card for them to use in the campus, because generally the IPTA students or the university students or the early tertiary students, generally this is their first banking experience, and coming from an unbanked population or an unbanked segment, it allows them to experience the digital financial service platform for the very first time, right? And pretty much part of the key offerings that I think we are rolling out is especially targeting at the student segment. We will have a lot of retail promotions and also a lot of promotions via on the e-commerce platforms and also on the for app purchases as well, right? Along with the standard card offerings, we also will include offers for petrol payments, and also there will be promotions for students and rewards for students when they use the card at participating merchants, right? So basically, together with the KeeperPay app, when students activate their cards, there are a lot more goodies waiting for them to be redeemed. So for the enterprise use case as well, the prepaid Visa card has a unique application for companies and enterprises who would like to embark on a white label wallet journey, and at the same time have a little bit more leeway or leveraging on the Visa's merchant network. So this is something we are able to offer to our enterprise clients, where we are able to roll out a white label platform at 5 times the speed of a usual white label wallet platform, right? Simply because together with Visa and also our technical partners, we have actually developed a solution that will enable implementation period as short as 4 months, right? And also to save our clients a lot of investment when it comes to merchant acquisition. And this is where the advantage is when it comes to the Visa's merchant network. I believe there's more than 400 million merchants available on the network worldwide. And not only that the enterprise client will have a digital platform to their brand, but it will also be a regionally enabled platform where the card will be able to be utilized globally, right? So basically, this I think is really a huge milestone for us when it comes to white labeling solutions for the enterprise segment. So KeeperPay currently right now, we are a principal card issuer in Malaysia, offering the white label services for the prepaid card issuing. However, we are also one of the few, or one of the only non-bank Visa-ready BIN sponsor, right? So we are also eagerly awaiting, or we are also been working with a lot of regional players who are coming into Malaysia, who are looking to issue their prepaid cards, and we are working very closely with them to enable them to have a quick start in the Malaysia market segment, right? And to talk about this, there's also a few use cases that we have actually enabled along with the program, which is to allow more accessibility and also integration into easy integration into loyalty platforms and also payment platforms, and also a few of the branding elements, program segments that we have actually developed for the entire program, right? And as far as the usage or the use case segment for the cards, we have developed a few solution templates or models that will enable different applications for different segments of the industry. So for example, we do have a commercial offering where targeting at enterprises, which allows customers or enterprise clients to actually use the Visa prepaid card to actually leverage on or to improve their business expenditure and also their purchasing, the whole entire procurement process of their companies via this Visa module. And also for more importantly, the biggest use case that we're working with is actually a corporate use case where the entire prepaid or the white label Visa platform is being utilized to actually operate a corporate payroll especially for companies that's been working a lot with migrant workers and also a lot with the blue collar segment, where majority of the employees are not financial savvy, or they are not really they are more from the P40 segment, where access to payroll, access to a more fluid or live payroll process will be more applicable. So we have been very closely with a few clients, which I can't name here, but do look at this space where we will be launching very soon with a few key clients where the prepaid Visa card will be addressing this usage for this segment. And also for the government, what I hope to see is in the near future, the aid distribution program will be improved when we upgrade the cards from a standard prepaid card to a prepaid Visa card, where it will enable the B40 segment to have higher accessibility to more merchants around the nation to be able to utilize their funds, right? One of the key benefits of using the Visa platform is that there is a bit more control when it comes to enrollment and whitelisting of the merchants on specific programs, right? And this fits really well for consumer use case. The example that I gave earlier for students is purely a program that is targeted at students. So when we talk about listing of merchants, the crafting of the rewards, and also loyalty, we are catering it to specific age group segments, and we're able to do this for different segments across the board, providing that our clients have a specific requirements for different loyalty applications, right? So this is something that we look forward to launch to the market very soon, and I believe very soon we will announce the launch date together with Visa on our Visa prepaid wallet program. So one of the key element of our program is that the entire functionality itself for card operation and user preference is all done via API integration. So basically, the entire onboarding experience, the entire management of the card itself is done via our app, and is operated in real time and seamlessly. So users have full control over their cards and its compliance to the security standards that is set by Visa and Bank Negara. So basically, you can actually, as a holder of the prepaid Visa card, you can actually manage your card just like any other bank debit card, and you can have full control over your limit, to freeze or to unfreeze your card, or even to disable certain functions such as contactless payment, and even to disable ATM withdrawal for personal preference or security reasons. So what we're happy to announce here is that the program that we are launching on this prepaid Visa card program is a end-to-end service. So basically, clients who come on board do not have to worry about compliance and regulatory matters, as we will take care of that under our white label program. We have a panel of experts who have been working very closely with Bank Negara and different regulatory bodies to actually ensure the entire compliance and onboarding and approvals process that's required for the program, right? And also we have on KeeperPay side, we have our own fraud management system, which we're able to cater to certain fraud monitoring requirements that the client would like to embark on or to turn on for their platform. So that's all I have to share for now. We're happy to take on any questions. Please do feel free to ask your questions. I'll be happy to take them up and to answer them for you. Thank you.
Well, thank you to all the presenters for such an enlightening sessions on your respective businesses. If you check out the Star Online today at 10:36 a.m., just came out in the news is exactly what Ricky Liu was talking about. Triple-Pay's Berhad teaming up with Visa to introduce the first of its kind prepaid card. Well, we don't have time for Q&A, but maybe you might connect with the speakers via LinkedIn and send in your questions directly. With that, we have concluded the first half of day one at the Digital Disruptors Week here at Malaysia Tech 2021. So with that, we shall now take a break from our sessions and resume later at 2 p.m. See you then.